couple of things have happened to me today. Number one, I saw like a lot of dead raccoons on the road today. Just random. And also, I'm wearing this yellow and like charcoal checkered dress. And I drove by like 4 school buses today. And I was like, oh my gosh, I matched the school buses. I'm like a school bus dress today. So, pretty great things. Also, today I have been thinking about this really amazing mentor that I've had in my life named Kirk Duncan, and something that he taught me. I've been thinking about something he taught me, and I wanted to share it with you. So our minds are designed to keep us safe, and we have a fight or flight response, and that is designed to keep us alive. So it's a good thing, because if you were to see a bear, that's going to kick in and you're going to run, right? Except for, I don't know if you want to run from bears, but that's besides the point. The point is, the fight or flight is designed to keep you alive, and you know that, you've experienced that. So it will do that in physical circumstances, but it will also do that in emotional circumstances. So if there is something that our mind is interpreting as dangerous, the flight response is going to kick in and tell us to get out of there because we're in danger and it's not safe for us. Using the simple example of a physical danger that obviously has an emotional connection, but would be a child being bit by a dog. So if a child is bit by a dog, likely the next time they see a dog, they're going to have this fight or flight response kick in, and they're not going to want to be around the dog because they know that the dog bites them. So if you've had an emotional experience where you were essentially bit, then your fight or flight response is going to be on board with that experience and trying to keep you safe. So when so this can happen with things that we have been hurt, and it also can kick in when something is unfamiliar, because our brain processes the unfamiliar as something that is not safe. So in life, we're here to progress and grow, right? Ultimately, or we hope so. But in order to grow, that means we're going to have to do things that are uncomfortable for us. When we set goals, especially if it's a big goal, our brain is automatically fighting against us, because our brain wants us to be safe or comfortable. So anything that causes us to be uncomfortable, the brain interprets as unsafe, okay? It's really important that you understand this, because when we don't recognize this, then we don't push ourselves and we don't move past this, the threshold of essentially the fear, because, and then we stay in the same place. So the fight or flight will keep you in the same place, and until you recognize that that's what's happening, you're not going to move forward in the ways that you'd like to. So let's say you've set a goal of something that you'd like to do. And obviously, if you've not been there, or you have been there, but you were bit, your brain is going to be coming up with every reason to tell you that you shouldn't do that. And on top of that, our brain works with our body, right? Our brain's part of our body. So sometimes we will even have physical responses, like racing heart, or sweating, or feeling nauseous, or feeling short of breath, anxiety, essentially, or nerves, whatever you want to call it. Or and sometimes when we experience these kinds of things, the physical responses, and even just as well as the mind responses, things like, I don't know if I can do this, or I don't know if I have time, thoughts will frequently pop up, and people will say things like, I don't know if this is actually the right thing for me, or I don't know if this is really what God wants me to do. Maybe this just isn't right for me. These are the kinds of phrases that people will use, and then they will step back, and there is a false sense of peace that comes when they step out of the fire, because proceeding forward with something that is unknown to us, or something that we have been hurt while doing prior, obviously that's going to give us some relief, right? The trouble is when we live our lives like this and we don't understand the way that the fight or flight response works, we're not going to progress, and we're not going to become who we want to be, and we are going to find ourselves repeatedly in the same situation because we haven't passed through the threshold necessary for us to get on the other side to reach what we want. That's just in a nutshell some thoughts that I've learned from him, and I'll be sharing more on that later. But think about some things that you're pursuing in your life, and if you're using phrases like, I just don't know if this is the right thing for me, I don't know if this is really what God wants in my life, is that him? Is that true? Or is that you responding to the rising fear and anxiety that's going to come when you're approaching an uncomfortable or unknown situation?